Let's see how Candace presented herself here.
A lot of your, as you know, a lot of your supporters, fans of your show, think that you may have been lured into a trap. Did anything while you were there make you think you were being lured into a trap?
I don't know that a lot of my fans think that I was being lured into a trap. I think ahead of time they had some...
Yes, they did. You're 100%. Oh my gosh, she's so compromised. Oh my God, I am no longer a clandestine operator. She is 100% compromised. It was virtually every comment, dude. Her fans are cooking her. Yeah, no they are. Candace Owens' large fan base was very angry with her yesterday and deeply frustrated. In all the years I've been following her, tracking her fan base, I've never seen anything like it. These are the top comments on our episode yesterday where she discussed in a word salad offering little to nothing her 4.5-hour meeting with Erica Kirk. Analysis I did of the comments, tens of thousands of them, showed 74% of them were negative. I don't know about this analysis. A stunning number. The dominant emotional currents of the comments ranked in order: betrayal and disillusionment, suspicion, paranoia and conspiracy thinking, anger and hostility, confusion and cognitive dissonance. You had a 4.5-hour meeting in a closed door setting with your op, with a person that you've designed as your op, only to turn around and back away. How the hell can you sit here and act like people weren't concerned about your well-being? Candace Owens is folding like a cheap lawn chair after receiving pushback from her own fans. She pinned this comment under yesterday's video but quickly deleted it after receiving even more pushback. As you can see, she plays the victim and fishes for sympathy that did not come. This comes after she raged out and accused her own fans of being boss when criticized her in the chat during the live stream. She panicked so hard that she went live on Instagram, dude, to her more loyal following in a more personal setting, to a smaller audience. Yes, including myself. Okay, I'm a bit frustrated about the comments here. Foremost, I was only given the option for a closed door meeting. I obviously agreed to it. It was almost 5 hours long. I need time to digest. I just wanted to present the facts to you, all of you today, of what they said without any of my own innuendo, because there is a lot to digest and pray about. I think she thought she could basically massage the narrative into leaning off. As I clocked yesterday, she thought she could basically back away from Turning Point USA's money bags a little bit and thought that she had motion like that, not realizing that this would actually invite a lot of scrutiny because people are coming to her for maximalist conspiracy theories. Yeah, she overestimated her fans' loyalty. And like I said, the people that come in for whatever the most base boosted, maxed out, Jews did this conspiracy are going to turn on you when you don't feed them that. How many people can even say they watched a friend of theirs be murdered in cold blood over politics and then has to consider the possibility that the entire government's colluded to make it happen, and maybe even people close to him, all while being attacked from every media group and influencer in the world? It's very heavy stuff, and on top of it, I have to deal with how fickle the audience is if I make one mistake on pronunciation, God forbid. She thought she could cave.
Well, for me, answers to the questions of trying to understand why there were so many Turning Point lies and why, instead of people acknowledging that these are lies, I felt that there was this billion-dollar psychological operation to convince people that Candace is just crazy. These aren't lies. These are made up. And so I was very refreshed that they owned up to the lies. That was a great first step. And I think, what motivates that? Maybe.
Bro. She is so self-involved. She is so self-involved. Everything is Candace this, Candace that. Not realizing that the reason why people are tuning into Candace is not because of who you are. It's because of what you represent. People want to know the truth. People are suspicious. They want you to entertain conspiracy theories. I went in and had a private closed door meeting with the people that I've been blaming for everything, and they agreed to everything I was saying, and they basically said my feelings are valid. Check this TikTok. People in the comments for real believe Charlie's alive. Skip to 120. Oh my God, that's awesome.
This is about midterms and the next election and moving forward. So if you think that your vote matters and that your vote counts, you are sadly mistaken, okay? Because these people have plans in place for years. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars of development plans, expansion plans, tactical plans, military plans. And if you really think that us peons are going to get in the way of their plans by our measly little vote by the two people that they give us to choose from, you're wrong. I'm so grossed out by this whole thing. And like I said, we all just need Jesus. Okay, because no man, woman.
Bro, Americans will believe anything but the reality, the objective reality that capitalism as an economic organization of society is responsible for the exact things that they're complaining about. They will believe in any conspiracy, no matter how far-fetched it is, no matter how silly it might be. When you say, is she wrong? It's like, she's not entirely wrong, but once again, she's so close yet so far away. She's so close yet so far away. Like, obviously, people like Candace Owens, I put in a different category, but like the average person that's duped by Candace, I think is unironically nearing a conclusion. It's like the people that say, you know, lock up Hillary Clinton, right? It's like, yeah, I agree, but why do you want that to happen? Like, do you want that to happen because of what the crimes that she conducted, committed in Libya? Or do you want it to happen because you think she's running like a pedophilia ring outside of a pizza shop in Washington, D.C.? Because like, even on the pedophilia stuff, I'm willing to concede. You could be like, well, she's an Epstein affiliate, right? Like, in that situation, I could be like, okay, that's a little bit more valid in terms of like lock her up. But the last part is far-fetched for no reason. You know what I mean? Another TikTok that says Candace
Can the real
seems
Candace
paid.
please stand up? Because I'm sorry, guys. Something is off. I just got home and I was watching clips of like her recent video. We got no answers as to what they actually spoke about for 4.5 hours. Like, look, I get the whole like, hey guys, Shabbat Shalom. That's how she did the intro. Aha, funny. But there's something.
Yeah, they're like, come on. She gave us a little bit. She gave us some Jew jokes in the beginning. So like, but I'm woke. I'm wizened up to that now. So many people are saying she was told Charlie is alive. I love that. Hell yeah, dude. That's cope. Anyone that says that, well, first of all, they're clinically insane. But anyone that says that is saying that because they don't want to believe that Candace Owens, like they have a parasocial investment in Candace Owens and believe that she would never lead them astray. So they have to cope with like an increasingly more insane narrative as to why she backed away. But that still comes with the recognition that she's literally backing away from Turning Point USA. So there is obviously this juxtaposition of what they expected versus what they got. And that contradiction can be exhausted and exploited.
4.5 hours you told us that meeting was, and we got nothing from this. Definitely seems like there was a payout, or I don't know, maybe there was a threat. I don't know, but something.
Remember, one of the things I brought up yesterday was the fact that there is also so much additional investigation from right-wingers into Erica Kirk's background, where they like found out that she was dating one of Charlie Kirk's like producers who's slated to speak at the Turning Point USA conference yesterday. Like, you know, all the stuff. And while they're digging further into Erica Kirk's background, Candace Owens is not giving them that. Mark my words. From this point forward, if Candace pivots back to attacking Erica, I feel like Turning Point USA is going to reveal all of the conversations that took place because I suspect they recorded it. And I think Candace was maybe too dumb to record it, not realizing that they most likely were. And that conversation will look like that conversation will out Candace as the grifter that she is. So now she's stuck between a rock and a hard place. If she continues down this trajectory, she will slowly but surely chip away at her relevance. All of the heightened attention on these other conspiracies that she'll keep dangling in front of people's faces is never going to give them exactly what they want to see, which is Erica Kirk. And if she finally caves to her audience demands and hits Erica Kirk again, then I think Turning Point USA will cook them. But if she goes down this trajectory, she will slowly but surely lose her audience. And, you know, a couple months from now, she'll be at the Turning Point USA conference. You'll see.
This is sometimes hard for me to like believe, but some people are like, oh, Charlie's definitely still alive. She saw him on FaceTime and that's why she seemed like happier and relieved. At this point, I don't even know. I have no idea. Or third option, they're all in on this. They're all friends and they did this all for attention, which is probably the worst option if that's the case.
I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I think you need institutional help if you even remotely entertain Charlie Kirk being alive. I'm serious. Like, if you know someone in your life that even remotely entertains this conspiracy theory that Charlie Kirk is still alive, after the video that we all saw, I'm gonna be honest with you, you need to get them medical help, okay? You need to get them medical help ASAP.
President Kennedy's assassination. I found the attempted assassination of Donald Trump very odd in the way that that's been handled by the authorities and so on. I'm not naive. As a journalist of 40 years, I'm not naive enough to say every single thing you've been saying is obviously baloney, because I don't know. And we'll get to some of the more specific details. But is there not a danger, Candace, that by having a 4.5-hour private meeting...
My least popular opinion on this stuff is that I low-key, I hate revealing this, but I know that people really, really want like a well put together bow on this whole assassination stuff. But low Kirk, I think the official narrative is probably closer to the truth than whatever the everyone else is coming up with. Like, I'm more inclined to believe that Israel assassinated JFK than I am to believe that Israel assassinated Charlie Kirk. HasanAbi is compromised. I mean, the beauty about my audience is that I spend a good deal of time on conspiracy theories, even though I am fascinated by them, right? Ain't nobody's coming in here for the maximum conspiracy brain rot, unless it's to like make fun of it. So, you know, if that's what you're looking for here, you're not going to get it. I think that like the investigators up big time with their revelations early on. Explain his neck not exploding. Wait, what do you mean? His neck did explode. What the his neck, I watched it explode. Here, okay. Are a couple things that don't make a lot of sense. The gun and the bullet. 30-06. I'm inclined to believe, I'm not a gun pervert, okay? But I'm inclined to believe that Angel Colvin's theory that the 30-06 actually had no fucking exit wound whatsoever, and it simply just hit his titanium neck and dumped itself into the belly. None of that makes sense. None of that makes sense. Okay. I am in agreement with you on there, like on that front for sure. Okay. I don't understand like how the gun was actually a gun that he was capable of breaking down and then putting back together. And then he like somehow left it out in the wild and then couldn't return, and then literally Discord DM'd his trans lover like, hey, lover of mine, I don't want to make you an accessory to a manslaughter incident, but I do have a premeditated murder charge coming my way, Discord kitten. Here is my gun, you know, all that. Like that stuff was strange as hell. Okay. Yeah. What did he say? He said something that was so crazy. He was like, there's a squad car in the vicinity that I've tactically discertained. Like, remember how I was engraving bullets? I love engraving bullets. Haha. Yeah. There's a squad car near my automobile. So there's a lot of weird there. All of that stuff is strange. Yeah, cops on my 6, squad car too close to the vehicle. But my point is, the strangeness itself does not mean that it was Israel. Like, for it to be Israel, with the exception of how Benjamin Netanyahu, and I say this as someone who definitely does believe Israel has the capacity and the interest in assassinating a high-profile public figure on U.S. soil. I think they would do it. They probably have done it. You know, it would not surprise me one bit, right? Having said that, in this circumstance, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense as to why they would do it to Charlie Kirk specifically. And last but not least, there isn't a lot of evidence that they did do it, right? So that's the reason why I'm like, yeah, there's some questions that I have, but the questions that I have does not invite the grander conspiracy that Israel was somehow responsible for this, especially because like the only side of the evidence that's being presented I am very familiar with, which is Charlie Kirk's ideological public pivot against Israel. Like, I know that wasn't the case, but now that Dan Bongino is retiring, maybe we'll find out more.
And we won't know more because we're investigating and looking for more. And so that just made me go, why is everybody being so over the top and ridiculous and using words like the evidence is overwhelming? It was Tyler Robinson, when they don't have anything that's overwhelming to show that they don't have a video of him taking the shot, which I think was something that I assumed, like, okay, there's all these cameras, maybe they actually have that video.
Okay, in order to literally pin the crime on Tyler Robinson, there is enough evidence, okay? There is. Whether he did it or not doesn't matter, and the rest is up to how convincing the prosecutorial team will be. They have a gun, they have the fingerprints, they have text messages, whether a good defense attorney could chop through that and claim that evidence is not valid is once again going to be up to how skillful the defense attorneys are. But, you know, when you got the parents' admission, all this stuff, there's definitely a decent amount of evidence. Whether the evidence is actually concocted and totally made up, that's going to be handled by the defense. If they don't have a good defense team, which I think they do, it's a pretty solid case. There's definitely enough for conviction. Defense attorney here, that's not quite how that works, at least with Tyler Robinson's statements that he made. Those statements could be brought into evidence as obligate statements by the defendant are always admissible in a criminal case. No, I know. I'm saying, like, will they be able to scrutinize the way that they extracted that information and tackle the veracity? Probably not.
You've put up a lot of theories, but a lot of them don't seem to have a clear conclusion from you about what you actually think happened. I mean, you've been all over this now ever since Charlie was killed. What do you believe happened to him? Who do you think killed him?
Good question, Piers. Okay,
So
Piers.
I can't tell you definitively who pulled the trigger. I'm not going to lie to audiences and just put something out there that's not real. But what I can say is I feel convinced
That's
that the
cap.
feds were involved. I can tell you that. I think the feds were involved in staging a cover-up. I think Kash Patel knows what happened and did not happen on that day.
Okay, dude.
Obviously, for this to have been pulled off, there had to have been multiple people involved. There had to have been people at Turning Point that were complicit in having this happen. Now, who knows what their motivations are? Doesn't mean maybe this person's like, hey, I'm going to help you.
Hang on. Okay, let me stop you. Hang on. When you say obviously somebody at Turning Point, you are accusing right now people that worked with Charlie Kirk at the company he built, which is now run by his widow. You are directly accusing people in that company.
No, this is not a good answer. This is not a good answer. Piers, don't go back to try to farm sympathy for an unsympathetic figure. People don't give a about Erica Kirk. They actually hate Erica Kirk. They right now are actually skeptical of Candace because she's not as aggressive towards Erica Kirk. God damn it. No, instead, lean into it and be like, why did you change your perspective so aggressively after talking to her? And why didn't you reveal all of the information in your first tell-all? It kind of feels like you're leading people into simply watching more and more of your videos rather than actually giving them some kind of closure. Seems to me like you're just leading them down a narrative trail that seems to benefit yourself and nobody else. Certainly not Charlie Kirk.
Okay, yeah, no, I do know it was not Lee Harvey Oswald acting by himself, and then that required national security to lock down the files, and that required the feds to impart, the CIA to impart Operation Mockingbird to convince the public that it was, you can't go against, there's a grieving widow, don't look further into it, don't believe your own eyes.
But let me just say, this is your, Candace,
it was
this is
a grand
Candace,
conspiracy that killed JFK.
Candace,
I am going to say that confidently. And I just think we have to grow up. We have to grow up. We can't keep pretending Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK.
Fine.
We can't keep doing that.
That is your opinion.
He makes her look bad insofar as he's allowing her to keep going and has so many details that you would only know if you're down the same rabbit hole, and it makes her look insane. I don't know. I mean, I don't think this harms her standing at all. I think she did this because she knows that no matter what, Piers is always going to be like this uptight, liberal representative of mainstream discourse. So being at odds against someone like that is going to only beef up her support. The only one who can steal her thunder right now is someone who is more conspiratorial than she is. Someone who is willing to be like, nah, it was the Jews and Candace is also sold out to the Jews, you know, that type of thing. Because like when she goes back to like the JFK stuff or even 9/11, she'll win favors once again with the same audience. For me, I think the main thing I want to find out is like if this had if I had any inclination that Israel had conducted this operation, I need more evidence for the motive, and more importantly, like I need more evidence in general. Like anything, simply picking apart the existing official narrative is not enough to implicate Israel. Because while there is definitely weird with the way that they've revealed details about this investigation, there is a lot of inconsistencies and there's a lot of weird stuff. It doesn't automatically implicate Israel. Hopefully Dan Bongino, though, will be the truth teller here and will give us some breadcrumbs to follow, you know?